Alright, we're back. Another beer review. Another one from Spears104. You'll have already seen the review, I imagine, before this of the IPA he sent. He sent two IPAs this time around. Both were basically a double IPA base at 8.2% alcohol by volume. But he matured. He split the batch in two and tried some different maturing techniques with oak chips. First one he did, the first one we reviewed, was the one he matured in oak chips that were soaked in wild turkey bourbon. This one we're going to be doing is the one that the chips he used were basically shavings from a Jack Daniel's barrel, so he didn't have to do any actual soaking of the wood this time around. These were straight from an actual Jack Daniel's barrel. So yeah, 8.2% alcohol by volume. Expecting great things here. I really like the one with the wild turkey. Tasted a lot like, basically much more alcohol. Well, I wouldn't say much more alcoholic because you couldn't taste the alcohol, but a bigger version of Innocent Gun Blonde. That's what it tasted like. So we're pouring this now. These are the JD shavings. I don't know how long he matured them. Let me see. Does he say here? Two months. Each one he did was 2 months. So had a good time in there. Wow, that's about the same color, maybe a tad lighter than the one he did with the wild turkey. It's got that same gravy sort of color to it, that weird gravy color. If you hold it up to a light, you get more orange highlights or whatever, but like just looking at it here with like anything behind it, it's sort of like a gravy color. Very murky. You can't really see through it at all. Nice finger and a half or so of head there. Slightly off-white. Kind of a cream color. So go right to the aroma. More hops out of this one. I can't say I'm getting any distinct Jack Daniel's notes. I'm more or less just getting very mild grapefruity kind of hop smell there. Not very big nose. Maybe a little bit of vanilla. The aroma on this one isn't quite as it's definitely more hop forward than the previous one. The previous one had the wild turkey and the barrel flavor, sort of bourbon barrel sort of flavors, the oak and the wild turkey or whatever coming out really big. And actually, I kind of expected that when with the oak chips that he soaked in the wild turkey. You're immediately getting a much more fresh, much more heavily soaked bourbon character than you would be getting from these JD shavings. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, very much more about the hops here, although it's very mild. No alcohol at all detected on the nose. So we're going to go right to the taste. Oh yeah, much more hoppy. Again, I'm not particularly getting into any distinct Jack Daniel's. I'm getting a bit of a whiskey flavor, but it's very nondescript. This is basically, you know, your a standard kind of fruity, bourbony sort of taster. Much more dominated by the hops this time. Hops are coming out big in the back. Not overly bitter or anything. Just very distinct. Piling up a bit in the back of the throat, building up some nice bitterness, nice dryness. Oh, the oak's really... Oh, okay, there we go. The oak from the Jack Daniel's shavings, really a lot bigger in this one, I find. Not as much bourbon character in this as the Wild Turkey one. Much more just a combination of the hops and the actual oak, really combining together, drawing out the back of your mouth, building up a little bit of mild bitterness. And now, as I'm sipping on it more, now I'm getting mild bourbon flavors again. Again, it's I was kind of thinking, okay, I'm gonna get a distinct Jack Daniel's flavor, because Jack Daniel's, like it or hate it, is a very distinct bourbon / Tennessee whiskey, whichever one you want to fucking call it. It's a fucking bourbon. I don't care what anyone says. But it's not, you're not getting like the real distinct Jack Daniel's flavors here. You're getting more of a nondescript bourbon, just your typical kind of slightly fruity, sweet bourbon taste. That character is starting to creep up a bit. That's a very nice beer. That is a very, very nice beer. I was just watching the Albino Rhinos live show on Justin TV. Well, the recording of the live show that sits on there for a couple days or whatever. And he mentioned that this one, he didn't like this one as much as a Wild Turkey. I'm going to have to say the same thing. This one here is a little less, it just doesn't quite come together as well as the Wild Turkey one. But that being said, it's still really, really good. It's still something I would buy if it was in the stores. And fuck, why the hell are you not hired by a brewery, man? Why the hell? Garrison, Propeller, someone should be giving you a job, because this stuff's really good. And you're doing this is partial mash. This is, so you're using part kit, part fucking, you know, all grain. You're not even doing like this totally all grain. You're still making amazing goddamn beers. Like, fuck. Yeah, that fruitiness of the bourbons mixing with like the sort of slightly grapefruity hops, and then you got the oak coming out. It's a really nice combination. It just doesn't quite work as well as the Wild Turkey one. The Wild Turkey one was like almost dead on Innocent Gun Blonde. Even the Rhino, and I think it was a cartoon that reviewed the Wild Turkey one together. Even they mentioned that it was like Innocent Gun. And I said in my review of that one that, yeah, you ask the Albino Rhino, he would say this was like Innocent Gun. So that one was better, but this is still really good. Thumbs up. Really, really good stuff. Now I'm really looking forward to getting into this spruce beer here. But I'm going to have to pace myself a bit, because this is 8.2%, and I just threw down, well, half of this Pilsner really quick, so I got to be careful. Alright guys, I'm rambling on here. It's going like 10 minutes. See you guys later.